Yo, crypto nation and mining family. Crypto nation and mining family. What's going on? Of course, like always, it's not financial advice. Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? So if you're kind of like myself, sitting around the house, bored out of your brains, well, you could start up a project just like I'm doing today. So let's see who we all got in his house here. We got my man Crypto Mikkel making the first comment. Yo, my man, got Gundy stuff and things. Nefarious. Oh, my man, Ninja Grasshopper. Woo! Glad to see that you are here, kicking it still. And looks like that's all we got. We only got a couple of people watching now. Oh, what the heck? I thought we had like 4 people just a second ago. Now that I go live, everybody's gone. All right, now I got some people starting to roll on in. So, guys, don't forget to smash that Lizzie like button if you guys already have not. But today, I was going to be doing my last video that I recorded. I went over my RX 580s, going on that KawPow, right? So it was kind of nice to Crypto Mikkel, boo, saying phone fixing a problem. My stream starts and BC bars, Bitcoin bar red. Oh gosh, not like this, guys, not like that, right? But on my last video, I went over my RX 580. I have the ROG Strix Edition, 8 gigabytes of RAM on there. Showed how far I can really push it. It looked like my maximum hash on the KawPow was 12.5 mega hash a second. So not too bad for hash wise, but there is that but. It went from on Ethereum, or Ethereum Classic, which is what I've got it on right now. As those cards were mining on it, I was averaging about 90 watts of power usage. I know that we're talking about 2 different algorithms, so we're not going to talk about what the hash rate is. It doesn't really matter. But as soon as it went on the KawPow, which is a derivative of the KawPow, it went from 90 watts. And I do have everything kind of dialed back, extreme undervolting on it. I mean, I'm running this thing as efficient as I can. The card started gobbling up about 125 watts. Yeah, about 125 to almost 130 watts to achieve that 12.5 mega hash on there. So it really just started drinking power, guys. Wow. My theory is on that, of course, is going to be that AMD is going to, AMD is not going to be your go-to on that algorithm for sure. I think KawPow has set it up to be a little bit more core intensive and not so heavy on the memory. But that is just me. So I've got a few cards to test out on it. All will be Nvidia this time, and I figured since there was so many of them, I've got 1660 Ti sitting right up over there, already on the test bench. And yes, I have taken over the living room table again as a test bench. Yes. And then for the rest of the lineup, I've got an EVGA 1660 Ti that I will be doing some testing on. This is the Super Clock Edition, single 8-pin on there, no back plate. I mean, this has been a very decent card for me. I've never had an issue. I just de-dust her every once in a blue moon, and she's good to go. She ramps up, and I've never had an overheating problem with it or anything like that. And you can't tell this card from the next on the rig for temperature-wise or anything like that. Coming up to the next one in the lineup, got my Gigabyte Gamer X. This one is, I forget if this was the TI or not. Of course, you know, you look at the back and you would think that it would say it on there, and it really doesn't. So once I plug it in, I'll be able to tell from there if it's the TI or non-TI. The software that I'm going to be using today for testing purposes is going to be HiveOS, just because I'm very familiar with the software and it lets me do whatever I want. And then for the final, the granddaddy, we're going to be checking out this bad boy on there. This is an MSI Duke Edition 1080 Ti, 11 gigabytes. Woo! We're going to see how this bad boy pulls out on the test net and all that good stuff on there. Man, you would think that I would have de-dusted her a little bit better. I did blow her out since she was off the rig and not mining. I'm like, yeah, I might as well start cleaning her up a little bit. It wasn't too bad on dust bunnies, and it's off the rig that's actually, can't really see it now, but it's like right there, because there's usually a 1660 Ti sitting right here that is now over there on the test bench. So I had to sit there and basically I didn't have I've overwrote over my old thumb drives that I was using for Hive on there. Everybody's like, sorry wifey, took over the table. Hopefully I'll have it all cleaned up before she gets back. Phone keeps ringing, the fairies. Just swipe no, or just, you know, no. Make them go away. This is more important. It's for testing purposes. Mikael's like, yeah, you're important. It's okay. You're the go-to guy right now. So everybody wants to bother you. And yeah, I know, Mikael, this bad boy is one of your favorites. It's got that freshly mined on smell. All right, so let's see how we'll do this. So I've already got the 1660 Ti on the test bench as of right now. It is mining Beam on there right now. Let's see here. Oh, it won't show the camera from there, but I could show this though. Bam. And the motherboard that I'm using today is going to be ASRock H81 Pro BTC B2.0 motherboard. So it is an older generation motherboard. It's got DDR3 RAM on there. It's got 4 gigabytes on there. So I'm not enabling dual channel RAM on there or anything like that. And I do have the CPU also mining that Monero right now. Of course, whenever we go into testing purposes, I will not be mining on there on the CPU. This way we get fully what the card's doing by itself with no latency lag off the CPU itself. I do know it's like a 2000 series CPU in there, so it is an older generation, but it does the trick. It's sitting there mining as we speak. So let me go ahead and I think it's this one. No, not that one. There we go. Bam. I have to remember which button. So this is what the rig itself is doing on Hive OS right now, with the 1660 Ti running at 100 watts, 65 on the memory, 100 on the core, 80 on the fan. I could probably step the fan down. This thing does not really get that hot. I was just kind of putting everything together on here to make sure it all works. Hive has actually got a cool little feature now that I kind of like. You can download the OS onto a thumb drive as normal, and then it's got a button on there that allows you to download the configuration file, and you can just put it right onto the USB itself, plug it in, and it just initializes from there. That was actually like the easiest process that I've ever done. It actually took longer to write the software back onto a thumb drive. Yay. That was like 10 minutes of it just sitting there, and I've got a pretty good computer. It's like, oh well, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tone this fan down on this. We're going to 70% on the fan. Just go ahead and tone that down just a little bit there. It's up just a little too high. So I just basically toned down that fan, and I don't like it running at 80. It's only running 48C. Come on, it doesn't need all that fan. This thing is running as cool as an AMD. Flight sheet applied. As we can see, it's been hashing out here. I basically started doing my testing on it and got it up and running at about an hour ago. So bam. And as you can see here, it's got a high latency here. It's because it's mining Monero. That is one of, yeah, buddy, it's beaming. It's beaming away. Beaming. But, you know, it's sitting there, been hashing out on Beam. But while it's mining Monero, and it doesn't matter if you got a brand new CPU or not. I do not care. It does it on every rig I put Monero on. As soon as you start hashing on Monero, your latency outbound goes up a little bit because your processor is pretty much being full tilted. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're mining Monero on there. That it does slow, it will decrease a couple of extra hash off of your rig. Just saying. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead, and this way I am not showing off personal information, just a little bit. So, I'm going to go over to my flight sheet, and I do have Did I actually configure one for me? Here we go. Raven testnet. Here we go. Here's that testnet goodness. So, I can now show this aspect. I do have a donation wallet in here, so this wallet has nothing to do with me. This goes directly to the devs themselves, so I'm cool with that. I'll have, for testing purposes while I'm working on theirs, this is going to the devs. But it's not doing anything. So it's doing, it won't, nothing will go anywhere. Oof, 17.88 mega hash already. Oh, this is already like stomping the AMD. It makes the AMD like not even worth running on there, because like I've got a really light overclock on it and it's already hammering on it. Holy cow. So let's go ahead and rip into this. So of course, if you guys have are using Hive OS, this is how I came about doing this. So I pulled up the coin that I want, my wallet address. I've only got one on here, which is the testnet one, because I've already swapped out mine for this one, because they're not mining with me right now. And then the pool that you want to go with, it looks like some more of the pools are actually supporting some of the testnet on this. But I do not believe so. I'm gonna go to the one that I know supports. Where is it? Miner more. Here we go. Oh wow, I didn't actually set this up. So all I need to go into you, edit you, because I need to check out I just need this. Copy. Cancel. Alright, so whenever you come into Miner More, go into advanced. Question: what is the big difference in reservoir and pump all-in-one combos versus a reservoir and separate components? That's actually a pretty decent question. So when it comes down to a pump all-in-one combo with the pump, what that does is it allows you to have everything in one little spot. Now, if you're in an area where you're limited on space and you needed to have a unique configuration, you can have a pump and reservoir that you can put in two different spots depending on where your room really relies. So like, let's say for instance you have a computer case that whenever you put, especially if you've got your favorite, the MSI Duke, in there, and you know how long this thing is, let's say that has to go in and it's almost to the front of the case. Now you're not going to be able to fit a reservoir and pump combo in there because the graphics card's trying to live in the space in between the pump and the reservoir. So at this point you're going to do a pump and reservoir separate. This way you can put the reservoir above the graphics card, pump below it, and you're separated by just a couple of hoses that are easier to route in your case around the graphics card. So that's basically the big difference that I know of. Other than that, you're really not gaining a whole lot other than just being able to separate it, and you're not just dealing with one mass. If you remember how mine is on my FPGA rig, I've got it drilled into the sides of that T2 case and just bolted in there. It was the easiest way, and then this way none of the components will ever be in the way of any of the FPGAs. Now in a case like that, if I wanted to have it all on the inside, let's say you want to make sure it all stays on the inside, I don't care, it has to be on the inside of the case and not drilled on the outside like I've got it, then you're going to want to do a pump and reservoir separate. This way you can get the pump will be on one side of the case and then your reservoir can be on the other side, and it's low profile. Now if you've got a bigger capacity, like you've got more radiators and you want more capacity on there and you want a big reservoir, you're probably going to want to have it separate too. This way you're not, you know, it's just a strain of how you want to sit there and really run your components. Other than that, it's just kind of what you want to, how you want to run things too. So that's pretty much my breakdown on it. Hope that helps with the decision that I think you're about to make. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. All right, so. Whoop. So now I've got a custom configuration, which we know is now for sure pointing at the testnet. And a regular wallet will work on testnet. Oh, it's going to be a long one, so I already know people are going to have to... Everybody's going on vibrate now. I don't need to see or hear the phone for a little while. People like to get a hold of me now because they know that I don't have a job and I'm just kind of sitting around the house doing other things that are mining related most of the time. So now they're all, hey man, I got this car problem. Hey man, I got this car problem. Hey man, what are you doing? It's like, trying to do stuff around the house. What do you need? They act like now that I'm not working that they can just freely call me when they're bored too. It's like, no, find something to do. No, but if they came by, whatever, you know. Hey, big Rome Kaiser, yo, my man, what is going on? I hope that if you're under house arrest like the rest of the U.S., that you're still pumping that iron, man. I know you like to. I know you like to lift weights. You look like one of those buff guys. I used to be one, so I'm just I'm actually starting to get back into it myself. Just because it's like after getting job and having life, it gets kind of hard to be working out myself too. But since I have all this new free time, human malware virus. It's like I've actually started getting back into it, getting my stretch on and all that good stuff. So garage workouts for now. Yes, my man. Right. Put on some good workout music and just go do it, man. I'm thinking that I've got a bunch of weights that I can sit there and pull out that they're actually still accessible. I've always made sure my weights are accessible, even though I was not using them. Thank God. Which I will be putting those to use coming here and probably this week. I'll be doing boredom workouts. Man, I started working out again, and I'm like, start hurting all over the place. I'm like, man, I'm a pussy now. Holy cow, I have not lifted weights for, God, like 10 years? Oh my God. So, let's get into this. So this is actually an issue that Hive has where they're trying to suggest these two miners, and it's like, no. I know there's more miners, and I know that they actually support everything. And I know that... Where are you? Aha. NB Miner does support the testnet. So we come into here, and you're going to have to configure the miner because it's not going to know to do this. So you come down here, just asking you for what algorithm, and you see here, KawPow, it's on here. The next thing you're going to have to do is the wallet and worker template. For Hive, you just come over here and just click on the blue area, and it automatically will put it down in here. And don't just put down URL. It's still a Stratum TCP, so you're going to do this. And then most pools generic on there, unless there's something special, will be generically it's X to get in there. Apply these changes, and let's go ahead and update this miner. Yes, yes, please, yes, yes, excellent. And from here, it's playtime. Yeah, oh wow, yeah, it's been a long time since I've like really worked out. And I feel bad that I don't work out anymore, because it's like, man, especially when you get older, man, your body just starts crumbling on you if you don't work out all the time. I've actually got a shoulder issue, like something's pinching off, or, you know, I got tendon or something that's on the back side of the shoulder that doesn't, that's like, I kind of sit hunched over a lot of times, especially when I'm at the computer a lot, and I've been trying to remember to roll the shoulders back, don't be all hunched forward and all that stuff. And I know that if I'm working out, that will help. Oh yeah, but at least I get started back. You know what? The next 2 days, like I started with my upper body, doing all my pushing muscles for my upper body. And yeah, I couldn't work out the next day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sore as all get out. And I had that realization at that point. I'm like, man, it's been far too long since I did this. I used to have a six-pack. I used to be able to sit there and lift upright pianos. I used to be a mover, moving furniture for years. So, I mean, you're talking between me and another guy, we could lift 500-pound pianos. So you're talking deadlifting and walking with 250 pounds minimum. So, yeah. All right. So, let's see how this all works out here. Yeah, but it's like, you know what, Big Rum, it won't matter how much I work out, I will never be able to get to your bulk size. Even whenever I was weightlifting every day religiously, because I used to play football. You wouldn't think of it. But I actually used to do wide receiver and safety in high school. I lived and breathed in that workout center. Our football trainer, our weight trainer was a professional bodybuilder. So I mean, like, and he saw how much I sat there and worked out. He's like you'll never get as big as me. He's like, your body doesn't bulk up. He's like, you got Bruce Lee's body style. I'm like, oh great. So I'll sit here and be able to look like I can lift 250 pounds, but I'm gonna look like a twig. He's like, more than likely. I'm like, great. So somebody's gonna think they can take me, and I'm gonna be able to just break them like a twig. Yes. Online and dine. Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and start clocking this thing. let's see what our max hash is on here. So now that we are officially on KawPow, or not just on Raven, so it is getting 14.58 mega hash with a conservative overclock on it. Nerd, yo, what's happening? Yo, my man. So let's go ahead and start playing around with this. So remember now, I was hitting 127 to 130 watts on my RX 580 rig. If you guys didn't watch my last video that I dropped the other day, a couple days ago, it was all about getting my AMD rig ripping on here, seeing what it can actually do. So at about 127 to 130 watts, I was getting 12.5 mega hash on here. And we can already see my 1660 Ti is getting 14.58 mega hash, and I'm sitting under 100 watts. So you can already see that my AMD rig is not very efficient for going onto Raven coin. So definitely would not recommend anybody pointing any of your AMD rigs at Raven coin. Now, whenever I had my AMD rigs on there, I leaned on that memory, leaned on it, and to the point where cards were cutting out on me while I was recording everything. I had to reboot the rig a couple of times. I mean, it was a little bit of a longer video, but it just shows the process that I was going through. Vegas 64. Now I know that I would be curious to see what hash rate and what wattage. I don't have a 64 to test, unfortunately. If I had one to test, I certainly would. But you should be able to use NB Miner if you wanted to do this yourself, nerd. And I'll make sure to, if you want if you go over to my flight sheet here, this is the server URL that I'm mining to through NB Miner. Yeah, definitely. Let me know since I know you got one. And then this is use MinerMore. MinerMore is supporting testnet. So the rvnt.minermore.com /4505 is, yes, 4505 is the testnet number, port number. So you'll be able to sit there, and that's pretty much all you need after having NB Miner. It's pretty straightforward to configure. Any Raven coin wallet will still work, so you can use your, yeah, no problem, nerd. You can still use your normal Raven coin wallet address, or you can do what I did, which is I've just got a testnet wallet. So it's just I pulled it off from the Raven coin. It's one of their donation wallets. So you know, it's nothing of mine. Since it's all testnet, I mean, you're just pretty much just seeing what kind of horsepower you can get off of it for what kind of wattage for anybody that's later on watching this. All right, here. And so let's get into it. So we're already more efficient than an AM, the 5800. Or, I mean the 580, not the 5800. Why did I say that? 580. So let's go ahead. And see if I can give this some more core. Now I know that the 1660, the core can only go so far before it will crash itself out. So let's ramp up this core a little bit more. Okay, it's been applied. Funny, Mikhail. Real funny. What up, Panda? Panda, 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 Panda. What's going on, people? Alright. Alright, here. So it looks like it really didn't do much to ramp up the core a little bit. All right. Mikhail, yes, the panda dance. Panda, panda, panda. Hey, I can see live chats now. Yo. Hey, what's going on, Khalad? What's up, what's up? Just doing some testing on KawPow. I know, right? It's definitely doing better than my my 580s did. 580s at 12.5 mega hash at like 127 watts. Pushing it. Huh. Let's see here. I'm actually kind of wondering how many. Oh, we got 8 people watching. Awesome. Bam. Didn't want it to go picture in picture. You know, it's kind of how I got everything kind of set up. I probably can just do that. Yeah. There we go. Hey. I forgot, I got 3 monitors. Let's just go ahead and use them all. Now I know how many people are actually watching now. Oh. Oh, yeah. And it's like, and this thing's only using 99 watts. 99 watts right now. So let's go ahead. Let's see if I can push that memory a little harder. Let's yank this thing to 100. 100 and 100. Yeah. And then we'll start actually applying voltage to this thing and see if we can. Mikhail's like, I want a 1660 Super to play with. Yeah. Considering that it now has GDDR6 in there. All right, let's see how this thing's gonna hit now. Is this thing gonna see 15 mega hash by yanking up the memory. Because that'll tell you. I mean, if I get more hash rate by pulling the memory up on this thing, then you know it's hitting kind of like like Ethereum would. But I think with the way that they've balanced it out, I think once you find that really nice equilibrium, um, 100 core, 160 mem, 80% power on his 1660 Ti. I will try this. But I've always been able to push a little bit more core to my particular card. I've got the Asus ROG Strix 1660 Ti, which is really hard to find. It is one of the better ones. And yes, I did see that, Mikkel. Oop, we're at 101 watts. It's not hashing any harder by pulling up the memory on there. Oop, 99 watts. Mikkel's like, my memory's better than yours. You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna try this now. Oh yeah, Red Panda, dude, do it. Just picked up a Vega 56 for 140 used. Nice. I want to see how it hashes. Oop. Oop, I must have hit the wrong button. Oops. Not used to showing this all the time. I've got to relabel my buttons a little bit here too. Well, at least the 56 is not so bad. You can BIOS mod the 56 and it runs like a 64. No difference. Oh yeah. The stream decks are amazing. So I've got 110 on the core, 160 on the mem, 100 on the power limit. Oh, you want to see terminal on this too? I could certainly do that. I wonder if I can do it like this. Or like this. Hey, look at this. Hey, I'm trying something new here, guys. We're going rogue. We're going rogue here. Just a little rogue. Bam! Now we got info on here. I could certainly try Gminer 2. So it doesn't look like I'm getting much difference. How come my screen's partially cut off here? Okay. I have to do it like that. Aha. Alright, cool. I'll do you. Do that like that. Bam. There we go. Now everything fits on here better. Oh yeah, yeah. That's actually as soon as you get it generates a new CUDA kernel. It's almost like I want to say that there's another algorithm that's also being used. I think this is a multi-algorithm still. I would be curious unless it's like changing the intensities on the cards themselves. Oh, you want me to make this a little smaller? Oh, you want to see more of the miner. Okay. I think I can accommodate. Let me see here. No, grabbing the wrong one. I want this one. Let's have the screen. That big. There we go. Just like that. Oh, there we go. Bam. Okay, so Red Panda is like, I found one thing online, KawPow, which means the inner loop of the memory access that is one iteration of the problem solving and is randomly generated program based on the block number itself. So the memory is getting hit randomly, so it might be just changing your intensities around of some sort. A good person to pick his brain over that would probably have some good understanding behind it would be Bits Be Trippin'. I bet you he'd have some pretty good insight of what's going on, especially since he's more on the inner circle for the programmers. So 14.8 now, and this is a slow algorithm. This is a super slow algorithm. It's almost painful sometimes to watch it like ramp up. So definitely slamming on that memory helped a little bit. Let's see if I can hit it up a little bit more. We're gonna go. Oh, too much, too aggressive. We're gonna go 75 on that memory. Apply that. Let's see if this negatively impacts. All right, it's been applied. Now I gotta watch it ramp up again. Oh yeah, NB minor and G minor are the ones that have it so far for both sides. I'm not sure if there's any others right now. I heard rumor of Team Red minor getting it. We'll have to see. You know, Team Red miner's at least gonna get KawPow on there. It'd be silly if they don't. So 99 watts at basically 14.8 mega hash. So I haven't even leaned on this power at all. Yep, 14.8 just read out again. Bam. Right. And, yep. What would the hash rate be if I limited it down to 70 watts? Let's see here. We can answer that question. Rate me up. You said 70. Oop, I put 75. Let's do 70 watts. Let's see what happens here. What's happening, Bear, at the North Pole? Oh wow, it like dropped it down to like 12.4 mega hash, but now we're at 70 watts. So at the point of where the 580 was hitting, so wow, the 1660 will hit relatively close to the same hash rate at at 70 watts as the RX 580 did at like almost 130 watts. If I wanted my RX 580s to hit 11, high 11s, it would be running at about 120 watts. So, damn, this is actually really efficient. Yo. So 70 watts. Wow. That's impressive right there. I'm just saying. Let's put this thing. What if we were to put this at the same wattage it took to generate that hash rate? Okay, so we're gonna put it at 120 watts because I know the card can handle it for one. You love the 1660 Ti, Bear? Nice. So now we're gonna crank some power to it. Yeah, KawPow is very power hungry. Oh, I seem to not have a water. Yo, oh my god. At 120 watts, this thing gets almost 16 mega hash, guys. Yo. Holy cow. Almost 16 mega hash at 120 watts. The same wattage that the RX 580 wanted to run at. Okay, so whenever I got the granddaddy on it, which was yeah, it's balling for sure. Whenever I got the maximum wattage off of my RX 580, I was hitting it at about 127 watts. So let's give it that extra 7 watts. What happens? An extra 7 watts. No, kitty. I'm doing stuff. No lap time. My little kitty wants to get in my lap and cuddle. It's like, no, you just woke up. No, dude. No. Stay back. Stop it. It's like, no, kitty. No. Not right now. Later. This is a later cuddle. I give you an IOU, 1 cuddle. Okay, kitty. Oh, she's over 16 mega hash! Yo! Oh, look at that. It's over 16 mega hash. And that was the max wattage about where I saw it on my RX 580 rig. Was at about 127 watts. So now running it. And it's not even pulling the full 127 watts. Look at that. I'm commanding it for more wattage, and it's only grabbing 124 watts to do this. Oh, kitty. No, not right now, buddy. I wonder what happens if I just unlimit this thing. My car can take it. Let's try it. Let's try it. I'm doing baby steps on this. Radeon 7 220 to 240 watts at 30 to 33 mega hash. I'm already half of that. And yeah, more than half of that, and I'll use less watts to do it. The only thing that you're gaining with that, if you're running them like that, is you get card density. So you're not, what would take 2 rigs to do, you can do on 1 rig, even though your 2 rigs that you are running is using less wattage. It's, density over quantity. Sometimes there's a little trade-off and you'll use a couple of more watts here and there. Holy cow, I just ramped it up another few watts and I'm almost at 16.5 mega hash. Oh my god. And I'm using 133 watts to do so. Should be able to handle this. I've maxed it out here a couple of times, 140 watts, without having like an LM2 pot on here to do some hash drags on this thing, which that will be coming at some point in time. So I can do LM2, liquid nitrogen, and just see what the upper threshold limit is on this card. So now I'm using 136 watts instead of 133. Oh yeah, cleanly over 16.5 mega hash. Way cleaner. Oh, that is awesome. Let this thing hash out for a few seconds here, see how stable it wants to be. Yeah, Red Panda, for sure that the Nvidia will be more stable running on this, because whenever I was running my 580s, I was noticing that I had a lot of swings in where the hash rate really was. Like, it was not happy about what I was doing to her. I wouldn't say that comes overclocked from the manufacturer will be way better on KawPow. What you're wanting to make sure that you have is binned chips. And what I mean by binned chips is you want it for the PCBs that they have, all the chips that they have for the 1660s or whatever you're choosing. You want to make sure that they are the top tier, the highest end binned version of theirs, because even when they put an overclock on there, they're not pushing it to the extreme. They're pushing it for having the optimized video for the chipset that goes onto the PCB. It's nothing really more than that. Yeah, they can usually handle a little bit more power before they start getting hot. So I mean, there's different reasons why they bin them certain ways, whether they get too hot, they're not stable, whatever they may be. Some of that is silicon lottery, basically, at the end of the day. I don't really, for me personally, I don't care if they can handle more power or not, because as a miner, we're taking power off of these cards. We're seeing how well they can handle working at the lowest wattage possible and delivering the highest hash rate. Now, whenever it comes down to gaming and the most optimum performances, yes, you want it to be that way where they can handle more power. This way you can push everything, but just know that for every watt you increase, you also increase the amount of heat that's being generated. A lot of people do forget that wattage and heat are correlated with each other highly. So you want to run these things as low as wattage, unless you're sitting there doing what I'm doing, which is more hash drags right now. We're seeing what it can actually handle. So we're at almost 140 watts. So that last little squeak of performance off of there for the amount of wattage that I'm now using on her is not really worth it. It's interesting to see, where my upper limit is. I could probably go a little bit further, like again, if I was running LM2 pots on there, but I don't want to hurt the card. Even though theoretically, for where the sensors are for the temperatures, they're good. It's the areas where the sensors are not that we do not know how warm that die is actually getting with the cooler. And it doesn't look like from here you're going to get huge gains from just unleashing this thing. The other thing I can do is, let's apply it with no power limit on here. Let's see what it wants to do. So with no limitations on this card now, I've got no power limit on here. And it's still now it's settling in at 131 watts, and I'm getting 16.3 mega hash. So I've got to use 8 more watts to get 0.226 mega hash. That's really not worth it. Yeah, definitely not worth this upper end limit on here for sure. So if I was going to be, doing something more reasonable, I would probably feel a little bit better with like a high side of like 110 watts. Definitely not really worth running, 10 to 30 extra watts for a mega hash or two. It really does put you out of that efficiency range. So let's try what G Miner is going to want to do. So, oh, it rejected a share. It's because I was sitting there loading in a bitstream. I was probably trying to submit a share right as I changed over a setting on the card. So let's flight sheet. Go ahead and edit that. Let's try G Miner. KawPow. Oop. Let's see if it will do anything. I haven't tried to do G Miner on this. I know it's going to stop the miner here. Reconfigured. Oh, it's yelling at me. It's like, no, I don't like what you just did. Edit. It's complaining about copy. I bet you it's complaining about this argument. Paste. Copy. Oh my god, yeah, the 980 Ti. Wow, that is an oldie but a goodie. So that's basically a 1070 using all the wattage in the world. So it really didn't like that. I don't know if Hive has it updated for this. Maybe this needs to be turned on. It's the first time I'm configuring G Miner on this. So bear with me on this. So now it's complaining about that. I wonder if I can put that argument that I had in there before. So we'll try that now. Oh no, it don't like that at all. So it doesn't look like Hive has it updated, it looks like. It's different down here. So I could try that. No, it's got TLS on there. Does it like this? Do we have a winner? Nope. So it doesn't want to connect. So I had it right whenever it was failing like this. So it does see it sees the miner more, it sees the port address, was not very happy about it. So then it looks like for Hive NB miner is the only one that works then. Or the only one that I was able to get to work. Upload changes. Update. I'm not sure, actually, Nerd. Nerd's like, is 4505 an SSL port? Alright, so back to mining on this. Now I got URL, initializing it. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought too. It's a TCP because it's a stratum. Oh, actually, Kalad, I did have it disabled. TLS was disabled initially and it would not connect, so I tried to enable it, seeing if that might have been the issue. It could be that Hive hasn't updated it, like they recognize it's there. It's a similar issue that I'm actually having with hashrate. Hashrate kind of has KawPow there, but their miners aren't updated for it. You're saying no. I can double check for you. I believe I had it right. I'll double check. It's not a problem. Here's Gminer. TLS is off. TLS is off. KawPow. Wallet and worker name. Password. Oop, it's X. Showing SSL on miner log. Okay, we'll double check that right now because it's nothing that it looks like I can turn off. Huh. Let's try this. See if it needed an extra argument here. She'll try this. All workers, yes. To set progress. What is it erroring out here? Failed to load built-ins for compute 75. So now it's not. Now it's saying that it's connecting in. Now it's saying that the graphics card's having an issue, so let's try taking off some overclock on this. Maybe it's an overclocking issue. So we got a real light overclock now. Nope, it's still failing. Let's try that. I doubt it'll work, but be interesting just to see either way. Probably won't work, but I'm cool with that. We're testing stuff out. Okay, so now it's definitely not seeing the pool anymore. So now it's not, with the TLS turned on, it's not even seeing the pool. So with it off, you think it's because Red Panda's watching? Maybe. These could be. So we'll hit it one more time, and then I just think that possibly that this miner's not updated on Hive quite yet. Yeah, I bet you that's what it is. It's just I believe that it's just not. Heard my name. How dare you? That's hilarious. So yeah, I think that it's just that Gminer's not updated on Hive. I bet you. I'll bet you. Bet you. Does anybody know what the latest Gminer version is out there? Is it above 2.06? Not sure. But since I know that it's not wanting to work, we're going to go back to NB Miner. Here we go. Thank you, Mikkel. Oop. You said 2.09? Is that what you said, Mikkel? Or is it at 2.10 now? They might not have implemented something right in the miner then. If 2.06 is the current version. The problem that, and I've had this with, which one was it? XM Rig. XMR Stack works better than XM Rig on Hive. XM Rig on Hive will start to like mine Loki and Monero. It starts to like switch back and forth for no reason. It will not stay on Monero. Oh, I'll try that the next time. All right, so we know what the maximum hash rate is on that one. So which one should I put on next, guys? EVGA or Gigabyte? Both 1070s. And I probably should record the numbers. Ugh. I'll need a piece of paper. Just because it's easier to do this right now. Let's see here. 4, 65, mega hash second. Cache seconds, and we'll do 138, and I did 110 core, 175 mem, and got 16.57. All right. Everybody's going EVGA, yo! All right, so we'll do the EVGA one next. So from here, I have to power this down. Shut down. There. Confirm. And everything is off. All right. right. It didn't want to come out of the board. It's got a funky lock system on it. All right, let's see here. Go. Everything's turning on. Alright, we're starting to see that here. Ooh. Ooh. So since I turned that off, it just lost that screen. I'll just have to get a new one going here. No, I'm not going to show you guys this yet. I need to reset my screen back up. I'm going to have to wait, FOMO in on this. Just a little bit. There we go. Alright, and go back to this screen. Bam! Alright, so this is the same overclock that was on the 1660 Ti. The last one that I had that was giving it 15.47 mega hash. With the 1070, it's only getting 13.6 with the same overclock on it. And this one is a non-TI. Womp womp. So it's just a regular 1070. But usually there's not huge amounts of differences on the TIs versus the non-TIs. I know that means that the gigabyte one that I have here, it should be a TI. Oh. Right. Refresh. All right, so now we'll be able to do a little bit of overclocking on this now. So we're going to give this my normal, anything that's core intensive. This is how I usually hit my cores. Memory should be able to do a minimum of 100 on that. And power limit, I like it right there. Let's go ahead and apply that. Woo. Let's see how this one wants to hit. Kind of excited now. Come on. It's set. Cool. Here. I think you can put that as like right there. Yeah, I like that a little better. All right. So with it. With a little bit of a more of an aggressive overclock on it. I've got a 125 on the core and 100 on the memory on this thing. On some algorithms, I've been able to hit this thing as high. Not Ethereum, not Ethereum high, but just up there. Ooh, getting a little bit more crashes on this one. I wonder if it's crashing because it needs more power. Needs more power. Ooh. We got 14 megahash, so now we're 0.4, 0.5 behind, running the same wattage as the 1660 Ti. I'm trying to cap this one at the wattage and see if I can just overclock it to where the 1660 Ti's was wanting to play at. So, let's see here. All right. So, 110 watts. 4, 5, mem, get you 13.5. Take a hash a second. Now we're at the same wattage, 110 watts. We're at 125. 4 now. We're at 500 mem. And we are getting a consistent, looks like 14.1, 0.01. So it looks like it's just hanging out right there. We'll call it 14.1. See, I can hit it there. I've put it there on some algorithms. Let's see here. No, kitty kitty. I know what you're already wanting to do. No. Alright, so we're right at the 1660 Ti status now. Running the same wattage. So we figured out where the overclock needs to be. And people are going to try to call me because they think I'm not working today. Let me text this one because it's the second time he's trying to call me. Alright. Let's see if we can handle, if this thing will handle a little bit more on the mem. Let's see if it'll handle 700 on this mem. Fingers crossed. Oh. So there's going to be a point where ramping up on the memory is going to negatively impact the hash rate. That is for sure. And I think we found it. So bringing it to 700 just lowered the hash rate just a little bit, it looks like. See if it recovers it all. Nope. Definitely not recovering from this one. See if I just bring it down to 675 on the mountain. Let's see if it made any difference by putting the mem right where I have it now. Maybe 650 might be that sweet spot. Come on, 630. Get back into there. Oh, back into the six. We're I mean the 1430. Let's see. Come on. Get into the fours. Let's see the fours. Come on. Oh. Before it was doing 14.33. Kitty. Away from there. Come on. Don't sit there. Don't put your tail on stuff. You're not going to have a good time. No, kitty. Knock it off. You're being a butt. So it looks like the 650 seems to be the better spot. So now that we've got that that nice little sweet spot, it looks like wattage for hash rate, the 1660 Ti is just a pinch, and I mean just a pinch better at the same wattage. And we are I'm not sure if it's actually changing algorithms on this bear. This is KawPow, not X16R V2. So this isn't 16 algorithms switching around. So I think it's changing the like intensities and stuff like that on the card. So I'd want to sit there and ask, like I said earlier, I wanted to ask Bits Be Trippin' on this one. He would be the person that actually, I think the best person that I know to ask how is KawPow actually working on the backside of all of this. Okay, so actually it was hashing a little better at 75. So from here, we'll play with wattages on this now. So let's see here. Guys, what should I put the power at? What should I put this power limit at? Any of you guys? Or should I try to lean on the core some more? I could try to put the core at 150 and see if it crashes. You know, I'm more curious on that now. Overriding you guys. 110 is around 80. 110, 115 is like right around that 80% for the card. Let's lean on this core. Let's see if this thing crashes when I do this. Okay, we're applied. Oh, still hashing. So I'm able to nail this thing with more core. Really? It did nothing by adding more core to this. Really? That's impossible. Come on. So it's using more power now. I got 111 watts. So I got 0.02 more mega hash from that. Now the wattage calmed back down. It's back down to 109 watts. I think that's as close as I'm going to get to where the 1660 Ti was at this wattage. So the 1660 Ti gets about 0.1 more mega hash a second at the same wattage. All right, here. All right, so we're gonna try and see if I can nail this at, let's say, we'll try 75 watts. Let's see if it even tries to do this. Let's see what the low end wattage will be. Let's see if it crashes. I'm surprised that this thing hasn't tried crashing yet. Oh, wow. So at 70 watts, I'm getting 10.5 megahash. It's actually running it at 75 watts. Oop, now it's dropping. There we go. So we're getting 8.888 megahash a second. All right. Second. Just making sure I'm recording everything down. And let's bring this thing right up to where the AMD cards were trying to run at, which was 127 watts. All right, 14.39. I'm gonna keep going up here. You got a little way to go, because I was getting way more hash. I was into the 15s at this wattage. 15, 16. Whoa. So I'm not getting that nice bump that the 1660 Ti got at this. Oh, that's wild right there. No. Holy cow. So, this thing did not get the bump by adding more power to it. So it's using more power, and for using almost 20 more watts, I only got what, 0.07 more mega hash for 20 more watts. Let's see about maybe backing the core down to where I know most algorithms will utilize the core at 125. Now I'm just trying to see if I can get more hash rate out of this thing. What can I do air cooled on this? I mean, the ambient room temperature here is pretty cool, so I'm not worrying about this thing heat soaking itself. It's got plenty of air. You can see the rig over there. It's open air sitting on the living room table. Okay, so it should have... Come on. Come on. So it looks like it did not gain anything from going from 150 to 125 on the core. It didn't lose nothing. Yep. It lost nothing from running it at the higher core. Let's do what I did on the 1660. I gave it 140 power. That's like everything in the world. That's throwing the kitchen sink at this thing without LM2 potting it. Now I gotta watch out for my temperatures. Now I gave it more wattage that it can use, more headroom. See what it does with it. Oh my god, 142 watts. No. 142 watts, and I'm not even cracking 14.5 mega hash. Are you kidding me? So this thing is hard capped. I don't think it's gonna get any better than this. I'm like watching that temperature. 158 C. It'll be like 143 degrees. I'm like partially converting in my head. Oh, we might see 60 C. Oh my god. So I'm getting like 0.02 to 0.03 more mega hash. Oh god, that's disgusting. 135 watts is where it's settling in at. Yeah, that's not worth it. Bear at the North Pole, yep. There's only so much you can really do with this, I would think. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this at a static clock, and I'm going to switch it out for the gigabytes. apply these overclocks on there, and then I'm going to turn the rig off. And we'll slide in this gigabyte into here. I had 675 on the mem, not 650. I was able to get a squeak more hash out of it at 675. 700 started negatively impacting the hash rate. So, Bear, you might be able to, if you've got good memory in there, Silicon Lottery, you know, you might be able to squeak out a little more on the memory. Maybe. Alright, so it's calmed back down. We're going to go ahead and shut this down so I can switch out cards. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to go with the gigabyte. Of course, now my Stream Deck's going to be a little laggy here. Yes, no higher. Yeah. Whew. This chipset got hot. Oh my gosh. I barely had this thing running. It must have been sitting there hitting it with that 140 watts that I was yanking on it. Wow. Gigabyte. Yeah. Let's see if this thing is the TI or not. I know I had one non-TI left, I think. I thought they were all the gigabytes were TIs that were left that I had. We'll find out here in just a second. As it powers itself back up. Run another shell because I disconnected. Be hung up over there. I'll reboot you. It's no problem. It's acting like it's hung up. Well. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and power down this whole rig this way. Wow, it looks like that it doesn't like this card too much. Why is it making... It's making me want to put this onto a riser. It's like wanting me to put it onto a riser for some reason. Maybe I gotta unplug it and slide it back in. There we go. It was not very happy about how it got slotted in, maybe. I had to unplug the graphics card and put it back in. Alright, now it seems to be working. Alright, back up and operational. Awesome. We got one more card to test, guys, after this. Get that off the screen. Oh, alright, cool. And then, before I forget, what was that command that you were talking about? MOT. Hey. And Khalid, I think that's how you pronounce it. I think I was pronouncing it wrong the first few times, but Khalid, if you're still there, wow, you just taught me something I didn't know about Hive. MOTD space watch. Never knew that that was a command. It doesn't even say that. That is baller. I'm gonna write that command down so I don't forget it, and I'll put it into my thing of commands. So with it in a basic setup here, this will typically get any card at least running. And this is my TI. So bam, we got a 1070. I chose wisely on the rig. I just kind of blindly took a card off. I'm like, I think this is the 1070. So we have the EVGA, which is just the super clock, non-TI. Now I've got the Gigabyte Gamer X 1070 Ti on there. So bam, we're gonna see if this thing will hash any higher. Oh. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna ramp up the clock on this. The core not. I want the core clock first. We're gonna do core clock on this. So we're gonna apply that. And while it's applying that, I'm gonna grab something to drink. Hold on one second. All right. Huh. It crashed? It crashed with 125 on the core. Really? Reboot. I'm wondering if it's just not supplying enough power to it and I need to run a riser to this, in which if it's giving me this, it's yelling at me that I need to give it more power on the riser. The only thing that would affect that is that the motherboard is unable to supply enough power to it. And I bet you that's the problem. So give me 1 second, I gotta grab a riser. Some junk sauce, I have to say, that I got to do it this way, but it is what it is, right? All right, so I got to basically take this off of the motherboard and grab another VGA cable for the power supply so that I can give the riser 6-pin power, and I'm not going to use SATA or Molex on this. That does not supply enough power. Come on. Come on, Kukudo. There we go. It's back up. Let's see if this will actually... Alright, so that does not work with that too well. Oop, I can go back to the screen. Bam. I'm like redoing, because like once you turn the rig completely off, it loses its terminal. Alright. Now let's do this. Okay, so we've got $11.50, so gigabytes, so we're at 110 watts. We are at let's put it exactly to where I had it before, which was the 1660 numbers. 65 on the mem at that wattage. Let's see what it actually can do. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be much of a difference between the TI and non-TI. Starting to pick back up, so we're at 94, 65, and we have 11.5. So all right, so now we're going to step it up a little bit here. I'm going to do 125 on the core. We're going to hit it in the same way. 500 on the mem. Same wattage. And apply. Come on. Oop, we're changing the CUDA. Got a different kernel. This is actually doing worse than the EVGA. No way. Holy cow. Who would have thought this? Check that out. I wonder if this one needs more power. I wonder if my TI will benefit with more power. So I'm gonna put, okay, I'm gonna record that down. Wow. Now we're gonna try this at 650. Alright, we are at 650 on the memory. Oh, I believe it. I believe that, Bear. Because the 980 would hit a little bit, would hit more like the 1070. But yeah, because you're letting it drink all that wattage. Yeah, I could believe that the 970 can get up there. Especially if you got a winner over there, so. Oh, God. Looks like I'm gonna call this 1179. Change CUDA. Yeah. So now we're gonna give it some more core here. We're gonna do 150 on the core. Maybe because it's a TI, it can handle a little bit more core on her. Come on. Yeah, this is the Gigabyte 1070 Ti. It's actually doing worse than the EVGA. Not all cards are equal, guys. And it's got six pin power going to the riser. There's no SATA going to it. There's no Molex going to it. It's 6-pin VGA cable. So a 12 volt rail going to it. So it should handle that line should handle at least 100 watts. Not sure, actually. I'd have to crack the cooler off in order to take a look to see and run the numbers off the chip to see if it's Hynix, Samsung, or something like that. So 150 on the core did not help at all. So we'll go back to 125, and I'll push this memory to 675. And remember, whenever I was doing the EVGA just a little bit ago, as soon as I hit 110, I was getting, once I went to 125 and 675 on the MEM, I was 14.3 mega hash. So it is definitely just hanging around there. Right at that 11.5 range. It's like, holy cow. So now we're gonna start playing with the MEM. With the power on this. I kind of wanna see what this thing does now. We'll hit it at the 140 range, 140 watts. Let's see what it does on the high end. For all that wattage, it gave me we're into the 14s. Finally, with a bunch of wattage. Holy cow. $14.6 I'm gonna back this memory off just a little bit more because it actually had better hash rate by a little bit with less mem on there. So we'll bring it back down to 650. Or maybe we do get a little bit better hash rate now that I gave it power. Yeah. So because I gave it some more power, now this card's waking up. So we'll bring that back to 675. I'm going to record this one down as one. Let's see, 14.55. All right, here. I get a little bit more hash rate out of you. I'll just keep an eye on this, guys. What will it take to get above EVGA? EVGA had a max of, if it had 140 watts, 14.81. Alright, so we're coming in underneath. We're only running at 137 watts, so the power controller on the board... Ooh, now it spiked. 146. Let's see. Come on. I don't want to do this for long. I gotta watch that temperature now. We are in dangerous territory here. 14.6. Come on. Come on now. 14.6. I'm going to do one where I just overclock the hell out of it and see what it does. Okay, so now I'm going to ramp up the core on this since I'm giving it all this extra power. Let's see if it'll benefit from more core. We're using 149, almost 150. We're using 150 watts. We are drinking everything it can give. All right, you gonna get any benefit from me boosting up the core on you? All right, so we're at 60C now. We're using 150 watts. Whew. And with the core cranked up on it, it is not getting anything extra off of it. Come on, pen, don't fail me now. Oh, the pen died. Next. And what were you getting over here? I forgot to record you. Right here. Ah, good one, Mikkel. Good info right there. So they're currently using Ravens using the X16R V2. They'll be switching to the new KawPow on May 6th at 1800 hours UTC. So that is right around the corner, guys. So this thing is not going up any higher. All right, cool. So now we've got all the numbers off of that. KawPow! All right, so it looks like we've maxed it out. So far out of the 1070s, the EVGA super clock, mine's better on Raven, on KawPow than the 1070 Ti from Gigabyte. You're not talking by a whole, though. Yeah, you're talking by a good amount. Yeah, it's like 2 mega hash almost at the same wattage. Once you crank them up, they kind of even out a little bit. But definitely the EVGA is turning out to be the winner. All right, so moving on along. Let's go ahead and shut the rig down and switch it out to the the MSI Duke 1080 Ti. Let's see how this bad boy wants to do it. So let's go ahead and shut this down. Confirm. Ooh, this thing gets a little toasty when you're cranking on them. Oh my gosh. That's like the hottest I've ever felt my 1070. PCIe. Just because I like to. And as you see that I did put in a second VGA cable in there. You can sit there and if it's got the other 8-pin, I just like to separate them this way. Both 8 pins are utilizing its own power rail. Gives them better power across both the 8 pins on there. That's why you can only put so many 1080 Ti's or 1080s period onto a power supply or anything that takes 2 8 pins. You can only put so many of them on a power supply. Oop. This is the button I was looking for. Alright, so I know that just disconnected again. Ooh. One thing I did forget to do was put this into my generic mode. And know that that'll take. Now, what's going to be a little rough for people, I think, Bear, will be people's expectations of hash rate. Oop. So we're pretty much on the low end of the spectrum here, and I know the 1080s, they're especially on the TIs, you really can't push a lot of it really hard, not all the time. So we'll be finding this one out first. So right off the bat in its basic mode, 100, 100, and 150 power, we already got 14.6. 14.5. Look at that. Yo, that's what's up. So might as well start recording my hash rates and stuff. So 150, 100, 100, and we've got 14.58. $14.65. If it's still kind of ramping up here. Yeah, I could believe that. KawPow is about 4 times less hash rate per card comparing to the original algo. I could believe it. Well, not really, because I want to say that the 1080s were like 30 and a half mega hash, somewhere around there. The 1070s were like 24 to 28 mega hash. So it's anywhere from like 40, like I would say probably 40% less hash rate depending on card, from what I can see. 40 to 50%, depending on how you're tuning it, if you got a Silicon Lottery winner, all that good stuff. I wonder if I can get this, how low I can get the power on this. Let's try 100. It's like, can I dial the power back on this card severely? Oop, it complained. It did not like that. Alright, well, we'll try it with 130 on wattage. So, it applied with errors again. Now I'm at 172 watts. I think it's disregarding what I'm doing right now and setting it to more of a basic wattage. Let's see where it doesn't complain. So right now it's overriding my settings a little bit here. Okay, so it didn't complain this time. So we got 127 watts now. How am I getting more hash rate now? I'm using less wattage and I'm getting more hash rate. Yeah, I thought so. I'm like, it should be like a 40 to like a 35%, depending on card. So I'm using 120 watts. I'm getting 16.27 mega hash. I'm gonna call that one winning. Holy cow. So. Holy cow. Oop. It's now asking for way more wattage. On rig side, I think it's ignoring my settings to a point. Even though the miner is saying 128. We'll see here in a second. So I got 125. 125 watts, so it's like really on the low side of wattage. I want to play with it on the low end real quick. So 133 watts, and I'm getting 16.46. So that was like a 0.2 mega hash increase. Alright, so now it's saying it's commanding up to around 168 watts. So I think it's ignoring me right now. Even though the miner's saying this, here it's saying something completely different. Oop. Alright, so I got 125 watts now. Oop. Did the miner crash? Nope. Miner did not crash. Alright, cool. So I got 125 watts being used. Yeah. So 135 watts. Keep going. Oh, I'll get there. Don't worry about Bear. We'll see what she can do with some power. Because if I can get it to dial in some hash rate right now, whenever I ramp it up, it's just you're gonna see the curve. So 175 on the core. Applied. All right. At some point in time, it's going to negatively impact the hash rate. Let's see if we just did it now. Could have done it just now. Yep. As you can see, we went from 16.75 all the way down to 16.11. And we are using less wattage. It's not pushing the core so hard now. Alright, so now we get to play with some of that memory now. So we're gonna hit this by, let's say, 200. We'll try this. We are now at 118. So it does not look like a little bit harder on you. Check that out. So with 150 on the core, 300 on the memory, I just jumped up to 16.62. Seven one. Ooh. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep going. Ooh. Look at that. 16.82. Keep going. Only running at 124 watts. All right, so so it's at 135 watts, 136 watts, 300, we're at 16. We'll call it, we'll call it 77. Yeah, Baron, we haven't even sat there and started like leaning on that card yet. Oh, look at that! Oh man, it's using like 185 watts. Let's see if it calms down. Calm down. Oh, come on. We got 150 on the core, 400 on the mem, and I see 1726. 18 mega hash? Oh, come on. Either you're ignoring my power limit right now, or we just hit the sweet spot. 137 watts, it just calmed down. Come on. Oh. We just found a sweet spot. Oh my God, look at that. 135 watts. We're getting 18 mega hash on this thing, dude. Oh my God. Oh yeah, we're recording this. Oh, that's insane. And I haven't played with the power at all yet, guys. Not one bit. Oh, it's saying that it's utilizing 153 watts now? Uh-oh. Oh, it's coming back down. So it looks like it's starting to pulsate. All right, so when it hit the higher wattage, I also got a lot more. I got a few more mega hash off the deal. Oh yeah, and she's flipping around now. It's now ignoring my power limit. No ETH pill. I will be turning that on next. So now it's not keeping to my power limit. Now it's like flipping into the 150 to 180 range every once in a while. Oh, I have a power limit of 182 watts. That's what the why it's going up. So it's now ignoring my power limitations on it. It has overrode me. So the next thing is I want to see where I can just put it to where it's gonna, if it's gonna be at 180, let's just put it at 180. All right, Bear at the North Pole. I'll see you when you get back. Let's just not play around with this. If it's not gonna stay at my near my 140 marker and it wants to live life at 180 watts, let's just put my limit at 180 watts. See what happens. And it's not like I'm getting it hot or anything. It's only 52C. Oh, that's weird. I raised the power limit on it, and now it's actually hashing worse. Let's... see if you benefit from more power at this point. Are you being power starved? Or was it actually doing better with me trying to make it go down lower and it was making it work harder? Yo, I got 20 mega hash. $22. Oh! Oh, that's insane. So I'm bucking it right around 168 watts. So it doesn't look like I'm power limited now. Now I know these things can handle up to 220 watts without an issue. 24.69 at 190 watts. So we are not being power limited. I've got it commanded to be able to use 30 more watts than what it's trying to peg at. And I've got, oh my god, 24.75 mega hash. Woo! 24.74. Yeah, that's insanity. Which means that it's only like about 10 mega hash shy from where it was on X16RB2. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn this oh god, an ETH enlargement pill on. Let's see if that does anything for this. $59C. The temp is perfect. I'm in no way, shape, or form coming anywhere near any kind of temperature threshold of any sort. So we got the ETH enlargement pill on now. And with the ETH pill on, it's utilizing a little bit more power. And it gained a little bit of hash rate, but not really by much. It doesn't look like. Hold on here. Nah, it didn't help it at all to have the ETH enlargement pill on. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go lean on this memory a little more. Let's see if. And it looks like putting more memory on didn't, it hurt it. Putting on a little bit more memory just negatively impacted the hash rate. So looks like 400 on the mem. It seems to be that sweet spot. No, the ETH pill didn't give it more hash rate. Ripping on me because I like to take pencil to paper. So it looks like the ETH pill does not give it any kind of a benefit of any sort. So it's not utilizing the memory quite like that. So bam. Alright, cool. Let's see about giving it some more power. It's not even at its highest threshold yet. I'm commanding it for more power than what it's using. And my next step is gonna be let's give it a little bit more core. Now that I gave it more power, can giving it more core at this point help it? Ooh, look at that, 205 watts now. Now I want to give it some core. 75 on that core. Oh, we're gonna hit 25 mega hash. Come on, we're gonna do it before I apply it. Oh, we're over 25 mega hash. Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, my gosh. Alright, let's see if ramping up that core will help it now. So now we're giving it all the power it can possibly drink. Because if you were mining on like Nice Hash or something, this is how hardcore it would hit your card. You can't turn down the power value on Nice Hash. I tried. Alright, so it doesn't look like giving it any more core at this point does any difference. Let's give it another round of hashing out here. So, it doesn't look like 175 on that core does any good. So it looks like, with the, depending on where you want to put your power at, it looks like 150 on the core, 400 on the memory, and wherever you feel comfortable with running the card at will depend on where it's at. Yeah, powerholic for sure. It's got problems. Yeah, Nice Hash is not the nicest with allowing you to take full control over your GPUs. It's like it lets you play with the overclocks a little bit, but it like overrides whatever you do power level wise. Like it's almost like it's auto tuning. So that is the gist of it. Oof. That was a huge amount of work there. Ugh. power. All right, cool. So we got data, guys. Tons and tons of data. I'll be able to figure out what Bitsby Trippin wants me to put onto his chart, charting wise. And I have other 1080 Ti's that I got the Gigabyte. I've got Zotac, and then I've got the MSI Dual, all 1080 Ti's that I can check out too. Of course, not right this second. See how long it takes for that to load over. Oh man, that was a ton of testing, guys. BTC had a nice run during the stream. Nice. Nice. So, if anybody's got any kind of questions or anything like that, now's the time to ask. I know this is like one of my longest streams that I've done. One of them. This might be my longest stream. Over 3 hours. Almost 4 hour stream. Yeah. I know I gotta use the bathroom and all that good stuff. I've been sitting here in front of the computer for almost 4 hours. So since nobody's got any questions or anything like that, guys, don't forget to smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell notification in case YouTube turned that off on you for some unknown reason. Certainly make sure that you share this video with at least one other person. Put this out onto your social media, guys. Just repost this somewhere. It helps me get this knowledge out to more people and all that good stuff. Yeah, Nefarious, yeah, potty break. Oh, yeah, and then Jay's going to be doing a premiere here in 21 minutes on, like 20 minutes. For DCA Adventure. So guys, definitely for anybody that is not subscribed to DCA Adventure, definitely go up over there, see my man Jay with his amazing technical analysis. Oh yeah. But while you're down there checking out links too, check out the Patreon, check out the Discord. If you wanted to check out Patreon, it's for our DCA Adventure channel. If you would like to help support me and my man Crypto Mikkel, check out DCA Your Mining. Yo. And if you like that TA, yo, you could do DCA your TA and get some of those DCA scripts. Oh yeah. Totally worth it, guys. Totally worth it. Thank you, Nefarious, for dropping that link in. And guys, definitely share this with other people. Help spread the word out. We need to help grow this community much larger than what it really is. And with that, guys, I will definitely see you all on the next one. And I'll definitely see you in with DCA Adventure with a TA with my man Jay. Yo. Peace.